Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm taking you along as I clean my house, and I'll show you how I go about doing this with a busy schedule and 2 little kids. I used to be adamant that I clean my house in one day. That way everything was clean at the same time and I didn't have to worry about it. But I've come to realize that it's not really feasible for me at this stage of my life. That's why in the last few years I've come up with a system that works for me. I break up my cleaning into different days and try not to do more than about an hour or so of cleaning a day. I usually have my cleaning done in 3 days, and then I just do some maintenance in between deeper cleans. One thing I always try to do every day is to make our beds. This makes such a big difference for me. I really feel so much better when I'm surrounded by a clean and tidy home. I don't feel as anxious, and I feel like I can be such a better wife and mom. Sometimes it can be overwhelming when you might not know where to start and you might be pulling yourself in 100 different directions, but I find the best thing to do is just slow down and just take it one room at a time. That's what I'm doing here. I'm starting by making the bed in my little girl's room, and then I'm picking up any toys or papers that need sorting or throwing out. I don't know if it's just my family, but there's always all these little knickknacks that my kids end up collecting that are everywhere and drive me insane. But once every few days or weeks, depending on how chaotic things are getting, I'll go and kind of clean out or get rid of any toys that are broken or that they're not playing with anymore. This week I was kind of in a rush, so I used one of my cleaning tricks when I'm in a rush, and that's to make little piles of similar items. It's amazing how much difference it makes when you stack or group things like papers or homework and just put them in a corner in a little pile. It's not perfect, but visually it looks so much better when you don't have a lot of time. I did the same thing in my little boy's room. I started by making the bed and cleaning up and organizing the toys on his dresser and around his room. I also use my little boy's bed as a folding surface usually, so I had a couple of loads that had piled up and that I needed to fold and put away, so I went ahead and did that. I try to do a load a day. I'll alternate between washing darks one day and then washing light colored items the other day. Where I live, electricity is a little bit cheaper in the evening, so I'll put a load on in the evening and then put the clothes either in the dryer or hang the things that need to be hung to dry, and then I'll fold that load the next day. In this case though, a few days had passed and I hadn't had a chance to fold my laundry, which is not ideal because it just ends up taking longer, but it is what it is. Anybody with little kids can relate how folding little kids' clothes takes so much longer compared to folding adult clothes. I like to fold the laundry and sort it on the bed, and then at the end, I'll put everything away. Also, I like to make these neat little packets with my kids' clothes, especially their pajamas. That way the top and the bottom never get lost from each other. Most of the times when I'm cleaning, I usually start later on in the day, either later on in the morning or around lunchtime, and so about halfway into my cleaning, I'm usually ready for some more caffeine. I like to make an iced coffee in the warmer months, so I'll just either make extra brewed coffee in the morning, or I'll take whatever coffee is left over and put it in the fridge, and then I mix it with some milk or a little bit of cream and some maple syrup, and it's just sweet enough for a little afternoon pick-me-up. Now that I'm caffeinated, I can continue putting the laundry away, and I moved on to cleaning the bathrooms. I always start by spraying down the toilet and putting soap in the bowl, and I let the cleaning spray sit on the toilet for a few minutes. And then I continue cleaning the rest of the bathroom, and that way the product has enough time to kill any germs that are on the toilet. I try not to use any unnecessary chemicals where I can avoid it, and so the cleaning spray I use is a mixture of water, dish soap, and rubbing alcohol, and sometimes I add a few drops of essential oils to make it smell nice. Since it's a non-abrasive cleaner, I can use it more or less everywhere, including my quartz countertops. For my mirrors and windows, I just use straight vinegar, and I love that it leaves no streaks. Now that the rubbing alcohol has had time to do its thing, I can go back and wipe down the toilet. It's now day 2, and on day 2, I will dust all my surfaces. I have to admit, I'm not the best at this. It's one of those tasks I tend to neglect a little bit, but not today. I did all the dusting upstairs before heading downstairs to clean. That's another thing I like to do as well, is clean from top to bottom, meaning I'll clean the top floor and then I'll work my way down. But it also applies to any tidying or dusting I have to do. I'll start by cleaning or dusting any surfaces that are higher up, and then I'll vacuum and mop at the end. My kitchen needed a little bit of attention, so I started by cleaning out my stovetop. I love cooking with gas, but it is a pain to keep the surface clean. I didn't scrub down the grates this time because they didn't really need it, but I did wipe down any debris that had fallen. I also wiped down the backsplash and the hood fan. It always amazes me how much oil accumulates on the hood fan, which goes to show you how important it is to use it. There's also a spill that I had neglected for a few days in the oven. The longer you leave a spill like that without cleaning it, the harder it is to remove. So it's always best to clean a spill right away before it gets baked on and it becomes really hard to clean. I tried to simply spray it and then wipe it off, but I quickly realized that I needed to soak it. So I put some of my spray solution on the stain, and then I sprinkled on some baking soda, and I wet a paper towel with really hot water, and I let it sit on top of that for a few minutes. The stain came out much quicker after that. My stainless steel appliances also had seen better days. They were full of little fingerprints, and so I used my microfiber cloth to wipe them down. And since I was down there already wiping down the appliances, I noticed that the cabinets needed some wiping down too. So naturally, I did that as well. I usually don't display my kids' art on the fridge, but this one that my little boy did I thought was really clever, so I haven't had the heart to take it down yet. But essentially he drew the inside of the body, so the white and blue circles and squares are the white blood cells and the red dots are the red blood cells, and the heart has heartburn, so that's why he used orange and red to draw the heart. I thought that was pretty cute. I did some tidying up before wiping down the counters. This is a wind chime that my little boy had just brought home from school, and I had to find a place to put it. I like to use the S pattern when wiping down surfaces. That way any dust or debris is collected as you're wiping. We're now on to day 3. And on day 3, I of course had to do a little bit more tidying up because that's life. But after I'm done doing a quick tidy up, usually what's left to do is just vacuuming and mopping. That's exactly what I did. I started by vacuuming upstairs and then made my way down. And then I used my favorite spin mop. I put a little bit of powder Tide in the bucket with some very hot water, and then I use that to mop my floors. I don't use a lot of water at the same time because the water gets dirty so quickly, and so after I've done a small section of the house, I'll dump the dirty water and then I'll put fresh Tide and hot water in the bucket again, so I'm not mopping the house with dirty water. There you go, guys. That's how I clean my entire house. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like, leave a comment down below, and let me know if you would like for me to make another video like this. You can also watch an older Clean With Me video, and feel free to subscribe if you enjoy cooking and cleaning videos, and I hope to see you guys next week.